What if I told you there's an ancient guide for navigating the chaos of modern life? A moral compass, literally thousands of years old, but so simple and so powerful it feels like it was designed for right now. We're about to dive into the core ethical teachings of Zoroastrianism, and trust me, you'll probably be surprised by how much they speak to us today. Right at the very heart of this philosophy, it all boils down to a powerful three-part principle: humata, hukta, and huvarshta. Good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Now, this isn't just some catchy phrase. It's the true north of the Zoroastrian faith, a guiding principle for every single thing you do. So that brings us to the big question, doesn't it? In a world that's just packed with distractions and tough choices, how can these three ancient pillars actually guide our actions and decisions right here, right now? Well, let's dig in and find out. To really understand the how, we've got to start with the what. You see, the spiritual source for all of this comes from three fundamental prayers. These are the absolute bedrock of daily practice. Okay, first up is Ashamvohu. The core idea here is a total game changer. It says that righteousness isn't some kind of transaction. You don't do good things just to get a reward or, rack up likes on social media. The righteousness is the reward. It's the ultimate good in and of itself. And from that flows this state of real, lasting happiness, which they call ushta. The next prayer, Yata Aho Vairio, is basically a powerful call to action. It teaches that true spiritual strength, true leadership, comes from serving and protecting people who are in need. This really gets at a core Zoroastrian idea of mutual dependence, that we're all connected, we're all responsible for each other. And wow, is that a vital concept in our often individualistic world? And finally, we have Yenge Hatem. Now, this prayer is pretty remarkable because it doesn't just honor gods or divine beings, it extends that honor to good people living right here in the world. And what's really crucial is that it explicitly honors both men and women, establishing a principle of spiritual equality that was seriously ahead of its time. So, we've seen the prayers, but what's the big idea behind them? What gives them their power? This is where we get to the core concepts that act like your own inner compass. It really comes down to two key ideas: Asha and Fravashi. A simple way to think about it is like this. Asha is the universe's operating system. It's the unchangeable, universal law of truth and order that governs everything. So if Asha is the path, then the Fravashi, well, that's your personal built-in GPS. It's that divine spark inside of you, your inner guide. You see, the Zoroastrian path isn't about just blindly following a bunch of external rules. As this says, it's all about listening to that Fravashi, that little voice of wisdom inside, to help you navigate life's challenges and stay on the path of Asha, the path of truth. But you have to wonder, right? How did this ancient philosophy, which started out as just oral traditions, actually survive for thousands of years to still be practiced today? Well, it's a pretty incredible story of preservation. For centuries, these teachings were only spoken, passed from person to person. But then, during the Sasanian era, a really pivotal moment happened. A high priest named Adarbadmar saw the very real risk of these traditions just disappearing. So he led this huge, monumental task of translating the oral Avestan texts into the written Pahlavi script, making sure they would survive. This incredible effort eventually led to the Corde Avesta, the daily prayer book that has carried this wisdom all the way to us. But this preserved wisdom isn't just something to be read in a book. It's meant to be lived. And the main way it's put into practice every day is through the Kusti ritual, which is a physical act of recommitting yourself to that path of truth. Think of the Kusti ritual as recentering your moral compass every single day. While you recite the prayers, you untie and retie a sacred cord. The 4 knots you make are symbolic. They represent a commitment to the 4 elements of fire, air, earth, and water. And the whole act renews your dedication to good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. It's a simple but really powerful way to align yourself, physically and spiritually. All right, we have the prayers, we have the philosophy, and we have the practice. So how does this all come together in our modern, crazy, fast-paced lives? Let's get practical. This is where that ancient wisdom really meets your daily grind. Humata, good thoughts, that means starting your day, or even just a meeting at work, with a clear, ethical intention. Hukata, good words, that's about choosing honesty and kindness in your emails, your phone calls, your everyday conversations. And huvarshta,
Good deeds? That's about making choices, big and small, that don't just benefit you, but your whole community. And when you actually start to apply this framework, the effects are pretty profound. It builds personal accountability because you're constantly checking in with that inner compass. This naturally reduces conflict in your life, and on a much larger scale, it promotes the exact kind of social harmony our world desperately needs.
So the teachings of Zarathustra, which are all distilled into these simple prayers and principles, they're not just ancient history, not at all. They offer a timeless guide, a call to live a life of active goodness, one that's guided by your own internal sense of truth and purpose. So the final takeaway is really this. This philosophy teaches that you already have everything you need right inside you. Your Fravashi, your inner compass, is always pointing toward truth. The only real question left is, where are you going to let it guide you next?